This is Sunday.
Good evening. You're right on time for Sunday Live, and we have all the day's happenings in store for you. In addition to that, we have a special report by Gatete Njoroge on the Valley of Contrasts in Kerio Valley. We take a look at that after these news highlights.
The program of universal free primary and secondary education inaendelea katika taifa letu la Kenya.
Free education is irreversible. President Ruto assures Kenyans, even as his Treasury CS casts doubt on funding free education. Tear gas and police barricades. Gachagua allies blocked from addressing public rally after a church service in Muranga. Activist Mwabili Mwagodi found abandoned in Diani and hospitalized after being held in captivity for 5 days. From Valley of Death to Valley of Hope. On our special feature, Valley of Contrasts, we tell you how hundreds of families displaced by banditry are slowly returning home in Kerio Valley. Tonight, I'm joined by Njoki Shege, our sign language interpreter. A section of Gachagua allies have for the second week come under attack from the police, who lobbed tear gas to block them from staging a rally in Muranga. This as Democracy for the Citizens Party leader Rigathi Gachagua condemned what he called state-sanctioned violence against his allies, accusing police of inaction and blocking members of parliament allied to him from holding a rally. Gachagua, who is in the United States, said the events in Muranga County border on state intolerance to dissent, while also warning the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga that his union with President William Ruto is premised on exploitation. Ayub Dikadir kicks us off on Sunday Live.
After attending a church service at the AIPCA Christ the King Church in Kahuro, Kigumo constituency, and a planned Meet the People tour, members of parliament allied to DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua, who included Senators John Medhu Nyandarua and Joe New to Muranga County, met a police blockade, an argument ensuing before tear gas and smoke engulfed Ngonga Shopping Center in Muranga County, where the leaders planned to stage a rally. The police blockade cutting off the leaders allied to the former deputy president from proceeding to hold the rally, as they fashion in their recent political forays across different parts of the country. And for a second Sunday, after another blockade in Subukia in Nakuru County, the leaders were denied access to the people before police shot in the air. The impact of the standoff visible, showing the extent of the damage in yet another chapter of police-politician standoff, which has seen DCP leaders cut off from the people, as it also happened in Kakamega County in May. The party leader, who is in the United States, condemned the incident, accusing the government of unleashing violence, describing the events on his Facebook page as barbaric, dictatorial, and violence against the soul of the nation. He added it's against the preamble of the Constitution, which he said President William Ruto did not support in 2010. In Baltimore, the party leader continued with his campaigns in America, accusing the Kenya Kwanza administration of economic mismanagement, right abuses, abuse of the rule of law, and failing to address youth unemployment. Gachagua using the occasion to also warn former Prime Minister Raila Odinga to reconsider his union with President William Ruto, stating that the broad-based arrangement is a delay tactic.
I want to tell you, Raila Odinga, William Ruto told me that NADCO report will go nowhere. He's just conning you. And he has told Ichung'wa and company in parliament to delay it until the next election. So you are there waiting for Ruto to implement the NADCO report There is nothing he will not do it.
The former deputy president attributing the recent rise in factional divisions within the Orange Party to his former boss, the president, naming him as the chief engineer behind the apparent crisis dogging the party.
Wewe Ruto atamaliza chama yako ya ODM. Nadiko will never see the light of the day. Amefanya jenzi wa kuchukie. By the time William Ruto is through with you, you will be nobody in Kenyan politics.
The incident sparking fresh chorus of condemnation from Gachagua and allies, accusing the state of openly attempting to silence opposition and failing in accommodating dissent.
So we are saying it's a sad day, and I think we want to call on the International Criminal Court to come and carrying out investigations, because our security agencies cannot be able to help us.
Ayub Abdikadir, CitizenTV.
President William Ruto now says the government has no plans to reverse gains made in the education sector and that the government will continue funding free education. The head of state, who attended a church service in Nairobi's Kariobangi, contradicted his National Treasury Cabinet Secretary, John Mbadi, saying the government will not compromise access to education in the country. With that report is Stephen Leto.
President William Ruto used a visit to Nairobi's Kariobangi area for a Sunday church service to quell the disquiet sparked off by his Finance Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi over free education. The president moving to reassure Kenyans that the free education in the country is here to stay.
Ile program ya masomo ya watoto wetu, the program of universal free primary and secondary education inaendelea katika taifa letu la Kenya. Ndio sababu tumeajiri walimu zaidi.
The CS has sparked off a storm with his announcement that free education was not sustainable and that government had begun by reducing capitation per student from 22,000 shillings to about 16,600 shillings annually. But President Ruto told parents today not to panic over the free education funding.
I just want to give assurance that education cannot be compromised. We cannot compromise access. We cannot compromise quality. We cannot compromise affordability. And we cannot compromise relevance.
Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki also took cue to defend the free education funding, saying the 22-years-old education system is irreversible. Kindiki added that major milestones have been achieved during the last 2 years alone to enhance access to and the affordability, relevance and quality of the education system. According to Kindiki, 76,000 primary and secondary school teachers have been employed to actualize the constitutional right to basic education, a record increase from the average 5,000 teachers employed annually before 2022. Stephen Leto, CitizenTV.
The debt burden in public schools across the country is nearing a breaking point. Some institutions have been forced to close early, while others face pressure from suppliers over unpaid bills. At the heart of the crisis is a capitation shortfall, with billions of shillings owed to schools, following a steady decline in funding since 2019. As you'll hear now from Emily Chebet, education stakeholders want urgent action taken to restore the full capitation. Days after Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi said the funding is unsustainable.
Education stakeholders are now shifting their focus to Parliament, urging lawmakers to urgently address the 6,000 Kenya shillings per learner funding gap, as revealed by Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi. According to the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, schools are owed up to 18.06 billion Kenya shillings for just the first and second terms of this year alone. These stakeholders warn of a looming system collapse.
Just before I exited service, Mr. Mutui and I and the other chairpersons sat down and wrote a petition to Parliament that clearly showed that schools since 2019, during the advent of COVID-19, schools started receiving less and less capitation.
According to KUPPET, Some schools are surviving on food and learning materials donated by well-wishers. Stakeholders are warning that some schools are now facing the threat of auction by suppliers due to mounting unpaid bills. The Kenya National Union of Teachers is calling on members of parliament to step in and allocate more funds to the education sector.
What is this that is being talked about? Reduction of capitation. Mheshimiwa, this must go in the floor of parliament. This country, parents are there who cannot even accommodate, cannot even afford to teach their children. So, free and compulsory education in this country is a big debate.
If that money is not enough, then they should come back to parliament, watuulize sisi kama wabunge, that we bridge the gap ili twende the 22,244. Kwa sababu hatuwezi rudisha wazazi kazi ya kuelimisha watoto ili hali maisha imekuwa ngumu.
Education stakeholders have dismissed claims that the government lacks funds, instead questioning the country's spending priorities.
As a union, we cannot afford to watch, regardless of the economic status. This country must prepare for the future. And the future of this nation lies in the learners who are in school as we speak now.
Emily Chebet, Citizen TV.
The family of Mwabili Mwagodi, a missing activist who was abducted 4 days ago and found early Sunday in Kinodo in Kwale, now says the government has been trailing their kin in connection to the 2024 Gen Z demonstrations. Speaking in Mombasa, where the activist is receiving treatment, Mwagodi's family, together with human rights activists, condemned what they say it was a well-coordinated abduction involving Kenyan and Tanzanian authorities. Crispin Otieno has that report.
On Saturday at around 3 a.m. around Kinodo area, unknown individuals believed to be police officers dropped activist Mwabili Mwagodi 4 days after his reported abduction in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, where he works as a businessman. He looked frail and in pain after his ordeal in the hands of his abductors. He would later struggle to walk 3 kilometers before being rescued. He recorded a statement with the police before being taken to hospital.
And then all these things, and then for investigation, George Mwasi alikuwa ameficha very prominently. Sawa? So now I'm thinking wamemfanya nini? Wamemabduct George pia.
Who is that?
My best friend. He also lives in there.
Okay.
Na ni jamaa wa home.
Ameonekana hayuko stable mentally, amekuwa tortured na Tanzania wale waliomabduct, na vile vile wale wa Tanzania waliomabduct walimleta Kenya waka hand over kwa Kenya. Kwa hivyo huyu defender ambaye ni Mwabili amepata shida sana kwa mikono ya Kenyan government. Akaibiwa simu yake, akaibiwa laptop yake, akaibiwa na pesa.
According to his family, his ordeal started in 2004 when officers from DCI visited their home, linking him with the 2024 anti-government protests.
Hii ndiyo alitupa nayo huko Kinondoni hii. There is a gap somewhere. Try to identify that gap and fill it. It is so stressful when you are sitting in the house and every day you're thinking your child will be abducted. And it has come to pass.
We're just asking for the security apparatus, the governance systems of this country to use the right systems of justice. That is our stand.
As human rights defenders, we are very perturbed by what is happening. What has happened to Mwabili, of course, we've seen it before. And we are asking the Tanzanian government to please respect your constitution, respect your laws, respect the East African Community Treaty.
Activists have continued to condemn what they say is a systematic crackdown meant to silence critics. Crispin Otieno, Citizen TV.
The prime suspect in 2 murders committed at the Kenyatta National Hospital, Kennedy Kalombotole, is stranded. Despite a court order, the Mbagathi Hospital says it cannot admit him as the facility is filled to capacity. As such, Kalombotole is spending his nights at the hospital's casualty and emergency section. Mbagathi also argues that Kalombotole does not belong there, but at the mental health facility, Mathare National Teaching and Referral Hospital. Ode Francis with the latest.
3 days since the court ordered that Kennedy Kalombotole be admitted at Mbagathi Hospital for 10 days for medical evaluation, KNH murder suspect remains stranded. There is no bed for the patient at the facility, as the hospital management says. The hospital is filled to capacity.
And the patient is being attended to in the casualty department in the emergency ward. Reason being, number one, our male medical wards are full.
Even as the suspect's lawyer accuses the hospital of negligence, the hospital says the patient is being attended.
The hospital blatantly refused to admit him. As a result, his condition has gotten even worse. He suffered a serious convulsion last night.
So in the interest of the patient at that moment, the physician made a decision and felt there's a patient who can be attended to on that first day. Can be attended to as an outpatient to come for reviews and attendance. But you know, the disease process, it can worsen, it can improve, it can still remain stable, constant. Then in this case, when they brought him back, then the review, he now met the criteria of admission, and that's why we have admitted him.
We visited Kalombotole inside the facility, where he remained handcuffed and surrounded by tight security at the casualty as medics continue to administer emergency care.
The medical aspect and the mental aspect can be taken care of at Mathare Mental Hospital, but mainly the reason why we are preferring to have this patient taken to Mathare Referral Hospital is because by the nature of this patient is a dagad.
As such, Mbagathi Hospital says it will move to court to review its orders and have the suspect moved to Mathare.
And come tomorrow, we are expecting the county attorney's office to move to court and bring to the attention of the Honorable Court. We also wanted to advise the court that the merits and demerits of having that patient at Mbagathi, the advantage of having that patient at Mathare, for example, and not Mbagathi, or another facility and not Mbagathi.
Ode Francis, CitizenTV, Nairobi.
For decades, Kerio Valley has been synonymous with insecurity, a bandits' haven where hundreds of innocent lives have been lost, thousands displaced, and tens of thousands of livestock stolen in daring, deadly raids. However, an operation dubbed Operation Maliza Uhalifu, launched in February of 2023 to tame the runaway insecurity that had disrupted learning and crippled economic activities, is slowly giving hope to residents in despair. Those displaced by violence are returning to the farms they abandoned 2 years ago when bandits ruled the villages with impunity. Our crime reporter, Gatete Njoroge, was in Kerio Valley to assess the relative calm and plans in place to sustain the peace.
Kura Akodo welcomes us to his home in Todo village, Tiati. After 2 years away, he is still rebuilding, piecing his life back together one day at a time. Once a proud owner of 30 goats and 10 cows, a symbol of wealth in his community, everything changed when bandits struck.
Nilisikia najua kitu ile mzuri ile ya kwa boma yangu. Wakati nilisikia wimbo alisema ho nikaanza kuingia. Kidogo nikaambia watoto idedi.
As the bandits drove away his livestock, Akodo was left with nothing, reduced to a beggar struggling to feed his family in the bushes. A once thriving homestead full of livestock is now home to just 2 goats and a calf. Akodo says he has had no choice but to start life afresh.
Najua kwa sisi ile kusaidia ni kununulia mtu mbuzi au kama ni ng'ombe. Sasa kwa sisi hiyo ni kitu ya maana mtu alapo adumu. Najua ukinunulia mbuzi sasa hiyo kitu na saa.
For a man who had lost everything but only hope, the presence of a military camp near his farm was a welcome relief. He made the decision to bring back his family with the hope that peace will prevail.
Unajua wakati umetoka, maisha ni mbaya kwa maana uombe mtu vitu ni shida. Najua bali wewe umeishi ni mzuri. Utawasajua jirani yako. Hata hakuna kuchenga tena wewe kwenda huko kuchenga nyumba.
Just about 200 meters from the homestead we meet Kididi Akodo. Like Kura, he left in a half when attackers invaded their village. He cheated death with his 2 wives and children. The harrowing experience was too much for one of Kididi's wife. She opted to remain behind with her children when Kididi returned back home.
Amani ni kitu muhimu sana, hakuna kitu kama amani. Sasa amani sasa ikosekana, hata sisi wasi hatuna raha, hatuna nini, natembea kama saa hii. Hata unaona nyumba ziko tunachenga.
Their children who missed school for 2 years are among pupils from Todo Primary School who have resumed learning. The school, located less than a kilometer from Todo KDF camp, established during Operation Maliza Uhalifu, has suffered the brunt of banditry.
2017 ilikuwa mambo ya insecurity ilikuwa juu sana. Hata tulifosiwa tukafunga shule, tukaenda tukakaa huko karibu na Kuloa Primary. Tukakaa chini ya mtu huko, tukasoma. Hadi 2019 security kakuwa stable kidogo. Tukarudi huko. Tukaendelea nayo na masomo lakini na uoga. So tunaweza kuja shule hata mara 2 kwa wiki ama even once.
The presence of soldiers has not only ensured continuous learning, but also goodies to the school, from food rations to water supply during dry seasons, and even books. KDF is an answered prayer to the young learners.
Enrollment ilikuwa kama 148, lakini saizi tuko around 288 ama hata ni 98. Yeah. Tunaelekea 300. Hao wakiwa hapo tunakuwa assured of our safety.
With safety concerns aside, the challenge remains lack of classrooms for the growing number of learners. The school administration is pushing to have the school convert to a full boarding to accommodate pupils from the warring communities.
Grade 1 are learning under a tree. Grade 2 under a tree. Grade 3 they have a makeshift class down there. Grade 4 and 5 they're sharing the same classroom.
In the neighboring West Pokot County, Cheptulel Boys High School in Chesegon is the face of KDF efforts in rebuilding schools affected by banditry. The school carries the dark memories that Kenya endured in 2024. This was when a mission to inspect the ongoing reconstruction of schools by KDF in the troubled region turned tragic. The late Chief of Defense Forces General Francis Ogola had his last engagement at this school before his helicopter crashed on April 18, 2024. His memory is contained in this visitor's book. He wrote, and I quote, "Keep up the good work," a message not just for the school, but also for his troops. Following cases of insecurity in this area, students of Cheptulel Boys were forced to move from their school back in 2021.
School was moved to Nyangaita Secondary School in 2022, and Nyangaita was also growing. So in 2023 again, space became very little. The school again was moved to another school, a primary school in Masol Ward called Surumben Primary, until the late January of 2025.
Marks of the dark past is written all over. Bullet holes are still visible on the roofs and blackboards. The school, tucked inside bushes, enjoys security from soldiers who have a temporary camp within the school compound. KDF have fitted the classes with new doors, roofs, water tanks, and made a new football pitch.
We are now having a student population of around 120, and our population had really gone down. 2024, we started with around 16 students. But the government also made a call that parents bring their children, and we were given 8.
Walipika rangi kwenye ukuta kwa shule hii. Pia kuna shule ya chekechea mahali pale, waliniwekea mabati ambayo ni mpya. Vile vile kuna maeneo ya msala, walinitengenezea pia maeneo ya msala ya shule ya chekechea. Kuna pia pande hii ya shule ya msingi.
With relative peace comes the burden of keeping the communities engaged. Farming is emerging as one of the best ways to foster peace among the warring communities. Chepke Farm, also known as Peace Farm, is a reflection of the personal commitment by a section of residents to have peace. Located along Kerio River, which separates Tiaty and Marakwet East constituencies, accessing this area before was a death sentence.
2023-22 ungefika hapa, ungekuwa unaweza poteza maisha kwa sababu hakuna venye ungefika.
Kitambo ufike Kerio, utakuwa umepata manyayo ya wale wakora. Na wakishapata yenu sasa ni kufuata sasa. Sasa hapo ilikuwa shida kabisa.
Young men from Tiaty constituency swim across daily to Marakwet East, a dangerous journey in unfamiliar territory, in search of work at the farm where maize is in plenty. In the scorching sun, the young men work under the supervision of chiefs and national police reservists, a trend unheard of in the past when the two sides could not see eye to eye.
Ile shida kubwa hapa ni njaa. Ndio resources hapo inakuwa scarce. Lakini serikali wakiweka project ya kulima banda hii, irrigation scheme, itakuwa ya manufaa kwa watu wetu wote. Na utaona vita ikifanyika hapa.
A similar project has taken shape in Aror location. Kabanon Kapkamak irrigation scheme supplies the local community and the larger North Rift region with watermelons, maize, sorghum.
Watu wa ngambo ile, sehemu za Tiaty Kibnai kule, wanakuja huku soko, wanakuja wananunua mboga. Pia sisi tunaenda kule soko na wanakuja pamoja, na naona hiyo italeta watu that will bring national unity and also harmony and peace in this area.
Accessibility to bandit-prone areas has been one of the hindrances in pacifying the region. Initiatives such as tamaking of the Kinyach, Kalabata, Kakimet, Aror Road, a stretch which is about 50 kilometers, aims at opening up the area. Insecurity has left them marginalized and at the mercy of criminals for ages.
All these roads are very significant in terms of ending banditry in Kenya. Because when you do so, the bandits operating area becomes very narrow. So this infrastructure is extremely important. Also, we need schools. Most of the bandits are 15, 16, 17, 18 years. We need to cut the supply by ensuring that they're in school so that there is no room for them to go to banditry.
Murkomen attributes the success of the operation, which has reduced cases of banditry by at least 65%, to intelligence-led operations.
What the security teams have been doing is to go for targeted operation, trying to get to know who buys guns, who distributes ammunitions, who buys the livestock that is stolen, and then so that then you cut the demand side.
The Interior Cabinet Secretary says there are plans to establish a military training camp along the Kerio Valley belt, which will serve as a base for operations against banditry and a source of security for residents. While there have been isolated cases of violence in a few areas, the vast majority of Kerio Valley remains peaceful. Residents are going about their daily lives, hopeful that the calm they are experiencing at the moment, thanks to continued security operation and community engagement, will continue forever. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Tot, Elgeyo Marakwet County.
That was only half of Gatete Njoroge's special report on the security situation in the Kerio Valley. The second part airs tomorrow on the Monday report, so make sure you tune in for that. We take a break, but we have plenty more coming up on Sunday Live, including what's coming out of Kenya Kwanza and ODM. Coming up, ODM leader Raila Odinga defends Secretary General Edwin Sifuna as push for his removal from office intensifies.
Terra Gardens by username. Just 20 minutes from Ngong Town. Get your 8th acre plot for only 699,000 shillings. SMS Ngong to 20321 or call 0725 000 222.
New Downy refill pouches, lasting longer than expensive perfumes. Cut, store, and no need to add water. Serve with a Downy refill.
Can you grow your wealth anywhere, anytime, without the right partner? Imagine expanding your portfolio with investment opportunities globally, while protecting your wealth and legacy. Standard Chartered's unique global network and deep local insights give you unparalleled expertise anywhere, right now. Now's your time for wealth. Join Priority Banking today.
Sometimes I need a fragrance to keep me calm, stays fresh in the heat and feels elegant into the night, lasting longer than expensive perfumes. New Downy, lavender calm, sunrise fresh and sweet elegance, freshness that inspires confidence.
Unauza hardware? Ama una fix hardware? Grow biashara yako by using your M-Pesa till to get Tasi Till loan. Enjoy easy application na instant approval. Ipate kwa M-Pesa business app ama dial *234#. The more you use your till, the more you grow. M-Pesa.
Hey, my dear, these popular detergents are not that special. As long as the clothes are clean, it's fine.
But Mom, quality matters. Hiya, I see you have a debate. Diana, I bet you use a popular detergent. I'm all about results. Msafi here removes the tough stains so your baby's clothes will remain spotless and smelling fresh. The 1 kg of Msafi costs the same as 500 grams of a popular detergent.
Now that's value for money.
And smart shopping. Chagua smart, value maradufu, na Msafi.
A comfortable diaper can make a significant difference in your baby's happiness. Choose diapers that are soft to the touch and have stretchy sides to provide a snug but gentle fit.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
Secure your future with a holistic plan of insurance, investments, trusts, and pensions to build lasting wealth and peace of mind.
That ensures my child's education, so he can become a future CEO.
Hey, Dad.
ICEA Lion has a plan for everyone. ICEA Lion. What's your plan?
kote nchini. Mbele tuendelee, mbele Kenya twende mbele,
Kenya twende mbele. NCBA, go for it.
As a mother, my formula is simple. Happy change, happy child. And that's the Gentle Care promise. Gentle Care slip-ons are designed to move with your little explorer, to make sure their dreams are as unstoppable as their days. Gentle Care diaper pants provides all-night protection. These offer leak-proof comfort. They let your little superhero leap, laugh, and play as much as he wants. Introducing Gentle Care diaper pants.
Afadhali nikufe njaa. Kama tutapatikana tutakula
Watoto wanajua ugali ni kavagara.
Nilipapatia ya chapati na ya ugali, hii nayo mlitoa wapi?
Dakika hiyo tu tafadhali tu.
Hey, kwa nini watupikia kwa ugali sio ya kavagara bane?
Imagine bwana, kavagara ndio ugali.
Itisha kavagara.
The August school holidays are the perfect time to unwind, relax, and enjoy Kenya's stunning coast with View Travel's getaways. Stay in Mombasa on a full board basis from just 28,750 Kenya shillings via SGR or 44,350 Kenya shillings when flying. Escape to Malindi Watamu from 35,000 Kenya shillings via SGR or 45,000 Kenya shillings by flight. Bask in the Diani Ocean Breeze from 66,300 Kenya shillings via SGR or 49,300 Kenya shillings by flight. All packages are per person sharing and are inclusive of return hotel transfers. Book now and pay in installments with View Travel's Lipa Pole Pole option. Call 0703 254 254 or visit viewtravel.com. View Travel. Dream. Explore. Discover.
Don't let outdated technology hold you back. Modern trucks with smart connected features can boost performance and enhance the driver experience, helping your business stay ahead in a fast-moving world.
It is ready to take on any terrain effortlessly. Presenting the UD Trucks Questa. Going the extra mile.
Guess what? Citizen Duca now delivers! Get amazing discount on your favorite essentials and have them brought straight to your doorstep, all for just 200 shillings delivery fee. Go to citizenduca.com, select the product you want, pay, and we'll handle the rest.
Citizen Duca, the home of discount.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, SoftCare always stays with you.
New SoftCare Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
SoftCare. Protect your leap.
Introducing Wigo, your trusted ride. The ride with the most reliable, verified, efficient, and transparent drivers. With fabulous cashback incentives for passengers, each trip on Wigo feels like an upgrade. Download Wigo from Play Store or App Store or SMS Wigo to 20425 and ride with confidence. Wigo, let's go.
You're looking at cucumbers, and these are Adam gherkin.
All right.
A small pickling cucumber.
Sema ukweli yenyewe. Hii account haina kitu.
What?
Your future starts at USIU Africa. Experience world-class education, a diverse community, and cutting-edge facilities designed to help you succeed. No matter your dreams, we provide the tools to make them happen.
Thank you for staying with us on Sunday Live. A section of Kenya Kwanza leaders have faulted opposition leaders for promoting divisive and regressive politics at the expense of national unity and development. The leaders, who vowed to spearhead the broad-based agenda, warned that such tactics threaten to roll back the gains made in national peace, unity and social cohesion. Here is Seth Olale with the report.
Speaking during a church fundraiser held at Elgon Estate Primary School in Tarbo constituency, Kenya Kwanza Alliance leaders led by President William Ruto's aide castigated the opposition for spearheading what they described as politics of ethnicity, which they term as regressive towards promoting national unity and prosperity.
Sisi tunawaambia siku zote tukiwa nyumbani, let us preach peace. Let us live in harmony.
The leaders who accused the opposition leaders of exporting divisive politics abroad urged Kenyans in the diaspora to shun them as a way of promoting unity and cohesion as prescribed in the constitution.
Mtu tuliamini kwamba yeye ni kiongozi naibu wa rais, ni mtabeli mkabila. Mumeona ameenda hata US kusanya jamii fulani.
Na huyu Maka Nyamita wako na alama sufuria iliwakata, walikuwa wanatembea na masufuria kwa barabara kama naiko pale kwa kichwa. Lakini saa hii wote wamekuja mpaka ile alama ya masufuria imeanza kupona. Na wote wako nyuma ya William Samoei Ruto.
President wetu na baba mwenyewe wako pamoja, wako kangari katika serikali ya broad-based government, and no amount of intimidation will make us divert from ensuring we deliver to the people of Kenya through the broad-based government.
Sisi kama Wakenya tunasema hatutaki ukabila. President ambaye amechaguliwa afanye kazi yake. Wakati wa election ikifika tuanze kuongea maneno kama haya.
Seth Olale, Citizen TV.
ODM leader Raila Odinga has again defended the party's Secretary General Edwin Sifuna as calls for his removal grow within the party. Speaking in Siaya County, Odinga pledged to convene a national governing council to streamline differences over the party's relationship with the governing UDA.
North Deputy Presiding Bishop, as you have been informed. Other members of the party have also right to President. After that, we sit down as a party and discuss this in the proper organ of the party, and we come up with a resolution. This is what the party has done. So what I say was this personal opinion. But the ODM opinion will come as a result of discussion within the organs of the party.
The embattled ICT Authority Chief Executive Officer Stanley Kamanguya has resigned. Stanley, who only resumed office on Friday through a court order, has written to the ICT Cabinet Secretary William Kabogo to leave office. The CEO has subsequently withdrawn a case challenging his removal from office. In his resignation letter, Stanley thanked the government for the opportunity to serve the nation. Safaricom has partnered with Tharaka Nithi County government in the construction of a 40-bed maternity wing at Mpukoni Health Center in Chuka Igamba Ng'ombe. The 45 million shilling project is set to be completed in the next year. The maternity wing will have 2 ICU units and an oxygen plant. Speaking during the commissioning of the project, Tharaka Nithi Governor Muthomi Njuki said the facility would be life-changing for the community. Safaricom business leader in the Mount Kenya region, Patrick Mburu, has said the move is part of Safaricom's initiative to give back.
We want to say thank you very much to Safaricom because they have done the Tharaka-Nithi proud. This is going to be the preferred choice ya maternity katika Tharaka-Nithi na Kenya because it is going to be world class. Kila kitanda iko na oxygen.
So tunafurahi sana kufika hapa na kushirikiana na nyinyi ili tuweze kujenga hiyo maternity. Tunachukulia mambo ya afya kwa njia ya juu sana. Kuna mambo ya elimu ambapo tunatengeneza mashule mahali kwingine. Tunazingatia mambo ya elimu. Na pia kuna economic development.
Citizen Planet coming up on the other side of this break. Coming up, conservation meets livelihood improvement as forest restoration program gets underway in Kaptagat Forest. Thank you for staying with us on Sunday Live. A groundbreaking forest restoration program that blends large-scale tree planting with economic and livelihood empowerment is transforming the Kaptagat ecosystem in Elgeyo Marakwet. The initiative has restored over 3,000 hectares of degraded forest land, reviving not only the landscape but also the fortunes of forest edge communities. Brenda Wanga reports on a model that is breathing new life into Kaptagat Forest, a critical green lung in the Rift Valley, and changing lives in the process.
The rolling hills and deep valleys of the Kaptagat region in Elgeyo Marakwet are draped in a lush green canopy, marking it as Kenya's second greenest county. These forest blocks form part of the Cherangani Hills Water Towers, one of Kenya's 5 major water towers. Yet, not long ago, this ecosystem was severely degraded, its forest cover shrinking and water sources running dry. A green revolution, however, has changed not just the face of the ecosystem, but the very livelihoods of the forest edge communities. The Kaptagat Integrated Conservation Program started in 2013 under the patronage of Treasury PS Dr. Chris Kipto, is credited with rehabilitating the 5 forest blocks of Pombo, Sabor, Benson, Kipkapus and Kesup with over 3,000 hectares of forest land reclaimed. Central to this venture is the yearly planting of trees on a rotational basis of these 5 blocks.
Because of population going up, the pressure was building up on usage of the forest. And people are deriving their livelihoods from this forest because they have grazing is an important part of their life because they are farmers. They want to get somewhere the cows can get the feed. So we said we need to find a way that is good, that is acceptable to the people, because we do restoration, but we also work out on alternative livelihoods.
Zamani vile chapata hii ng'ombe nilikuwa napeleka forest. Sasa kupika huko saa zingine ng'ombe na haribu mamiti hiyo ndogo ndogo. Hata hawezi hata kunywa maji kwa maana huko maji ni matope. Sasa nyumbani unaweza patia ng'ombe yako maji mzuri akunywe.
The integrated program ensures that the forest edge communities are encouraged to take up alternatives to what they derive from the forest. Dairy farmers are now trading in their large local herds for a few high-grade cows.
Most of them, those who have received these animals, are doing now between 15 and 20. That is impactful. And so the farmer doesn't have to really have a lot of animals. And then they keep those animals at home. And again, we have said, they can also use the same to do circular economy, where whatever waste that comes from the animals, they are able to generate biogas and even use the slurry to take to their farms, like here, and put as fertilizer. So that there's a dual benefit of whatever waste that comes is actually used to generate energy. And then that energy means that you can use biogas, which means the women don't have to go to the forest to bring firewood, which is also a main cause of degradation.
The ripple effect of Kaptagat's conservation extends far beyond the forest boundaries. Barnabas, a farmer, tree nurse owner, and a converted conservationist, says the ongoing efforts are helping to restore nature's delicate balance and even influencing local weather patterns.
From that time, from 2019, maji kwa forest imeanza kukuja juu. Hata mvua, we've experienced that the cycle of raining, which were since enzi ya mababu yetu na mababa yetu ilikuwa March, wakati mvua ina March, ikaenda tena mpaka May, lakini sasa hii imerudi nyuma tena, imekuja sasa tuko kwa April, inaanza kunyesha mzuri. Na ukiona sasa hata mimea imenawiri mzuri, mvua imeanza kukuja, to show that we've done something in the forest.
And at the heart of this transformation, women's groups are finding empowerment and purpose through sustainable environmental work. Tumaini Women Group has been part of this effort and it continues to transform their lives.
Chenye ilitufanya tukuja hapa ni tulikuwa na shida reserve, tulikuwa tukitengeneza pombe haramu. Sasa tukaona kuliko kukimbizana na serikali kila wakati, tukaona ni heri tujianzishie kazi ya miche kidogo kidogo. Sasa tukaanza tukiwa 10 namna hiyo, tukaanza kuweka miche ya hii ya kisasa kama cypress, eucalyptus hiyo, kidogo kidogo tukiuzia wenyeji wa karibu. Tukaendelea hivyo mpaka wengine wetu wenye walikuwa bado wako reserve wakatuunga mkono.
The success of the program, however, largely hinges on the involvement of community forest associations. These grassroots groups are not only responsible for managing the various forest blocks, but also ensuring that surrounding communities continue to benefit sustainably from the restored forests.
Sisi tumepata faida sana. Kwanza, unaona vile maharagwe iko. The shamba system wakulima wangu wanafaidika sana. Nafikiri hata tuko na shida kwa sababu shamba zimeisha. The tree cover imekuwa about 99% in our forest station. So next time, kama next year, hatuna pahali pa kulima for livelihood.
Now in its 9th year, the large-scale tree planting initiative is set to continue for another decade, anchored on the successful integration of forest conservation and improved community livelihoods.
In the 9th year, we are talking about over 90% restoration in this Kaptagat forest. And we are now saying, while the forest is fully restored, we also want to concentrate on the people to make sure that poverty levels are uplifted through empowerment programs. So we are focusing on enterprises or value chains, and the key one is livestock, because we are focusing on how to improve the breed of livestock, and we're asking farmers to choose, for instance, dairy animals that are few but with a better breed, which can give them higher quality.
The results of the restoration of the entire Kaptagat ecosystem continue to be felt not just here in Elgeyo-Marakwet County, but in the neighboring counties, and the government hopes that this will be replicated across the country as it heads towards achieving its intended forest cover. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV, in Kaptagat, Elgeyo-Marakwet.
Beautiful story, beautifully told by Brenda Wanga, and those opening shots were just spectacular. Radio Citizen presenters attended Sunday service at Holy Gate of Heaven Church in Bungoma County today. The head of Radio Citizen thanked the residents of Bungoma County for their continued loyalty to the radio station. She urged parents to instill good morals in their children. Additionally, Joy Miller's Flour Company encouraged the locals to continue using their Kavagara flour.
We don't take it for granted. And that is why we make sure every day tunapotangaza pia tunajitolea Na Mwenyezi Mungu ni nani? Nasema kwamba ukijitolea, ukifanya kazi kwa bidii atabariki kazi ya mikono yako. Mzidi kutusupport kama Radio Citizen na tuzidi kuwa wananchi waadilifu wale ambao mtegemea nani? Mwenyezi Mungu, na kwa kweli atatuonekania.
Ni shabiki sugu wa Radio Citizen. Ukisikiza asubuhi utanisikia naitwa Mama Nyanya wa Bungoma.
Joy Millers kusema ukweli miaka 13 peke yake na tumeweza kuenea karibu dunia mzima. Ukienda Saudi Arabia, ukienda Dubai, uende Qatar, unga yetu imefika. Dubai tumeingia na tukapokelewa vizuri. Tulikuja pia kuambia may God bless you so much.
Kenya began her campaign at the inaugural Africa School Games that is being staged in Algeria on the wrong footing, with Lies Bumuza of the host nation Algeria beating Omari Clinton of Kenya 5-1 in the Greco-Roman style competition. The team, that is made up of 20 athletes, will compete in 6 disciplines, namely athletics, boxing, wrestling, judo, cycling and tennis. Team Kenya is represented by 2 participants, a male and a female, in each sport discipline. The team will be looking to build on Kenya's reputation in sports while also gaining the much-needed experience ahead of the Africa Youth Games set for Angola later this year and the 2026 Youth Olympic Games primed for Dakar, Senegal.
Katika medali na ameweza kupoteza mchezo wake dhidi ya Algeria kwa pointi 5. Nasema kwamba ni vile tu kwamba sasa hivi nilikuwa na mismatch kidogo pale kwamba bench yote ya Waarabu.
KCB Rugby Club are the 2025 Driftwood Sevens champions after beating Strathmore Leos 15-14 in a knife-edge final staged at the Mombasa Sports Club this evening. KCB started the game strongly with Elvis Olukusi powering over the line for the opening try and a 5-0 lead. Floyd Wabwire with pace raced clear for KCB's second try, extending their lead 10-0. Olukusi added his second try on the left wing just before halftime, sending the Bankers into the break with a 15-0 advantage. However, in the second half, Barnabas War pulled one back for the Leos, narrowing the gap to 15-7 before the Leos capitalized on a yellow card on KCB, securing a penalty try to cut the deficit 15-14. Meanwhile, Kenya Cup champions Kabras RFC finished third after defeating Nakuru RFC 21-10. Youth in Kwale County are calling upon leaders and various stakeholders to help them grow and boost their sports talent by providing the required equipment and sports facilities. Speaking at Ukunda Showground after receiving donations of football game kits from the Interior Security PS Raymond Omolo, the players from Amsterdam, and Kombani FC urged leaders to follow suit, a move they say will also help curb insecurity and drug abuse among the youth in the region. The manager in charge of the Raymond Omolo Foundation, Mike Ogari, noted that the issuance of the games kits, which targets all the 47 counties, is aimed at helping the youngsters.
Raymond Omolo kutuletea jezi zake ni ngumu kwa sana kwa mtu mkubwa kuleta vitu kwa timu za chini za County League. Tunajisikia furaha na Mwenyezi Mungu amuendelezee moyo huo.
Kulingana na mtaa wetu na kaunti yetu ya Kwale nzima, talenti ziko, lakini support kwa wakubwa ndo hakuna. Sasa hiyo ndio changamoto yetu. Na sasa sisi kwa tunaomba kama viongozi pia waangalie pia e-sport isaidie vijana.
Vijana talanta wanayo. Wakipewa support kidogo kidogo, kwa sababu ni vijana ambao wanajituma. Sio vijana ambao wanangojea wanalala wakilia. Ni vijana ambao ukiwasaidia tu kidogo, ukiwapush kidogo, ni vijana ambao wanaweza enda mbali.
Raymond Omolo ameleta mpira, vijana wacheze waacha na dawa ya kulevya.
Tena anajaribu kuleta vijana karibu, sio hapa Kwale peke yake, amejaribu kutembea karibu Kenya nzima. Tayari tuko na 20 counties. Alafu anapanga tuende na tufanye tournament moja huko Nairobi kwa hizo 20 counties kwanza. Alafu tutarudia counties zingine after kufanya 20 counties in Nairobi tuangalie.
A good night on Sunday Live. Let us, as is the custom, take a look at some of your feedback. Here we have Babu Michael, who says the report on Kerio Taste of Peace is so hopeful. It shows clearly the benefits of peace to a community and largely to the greater nation. Only such initiatives like proper road infrastructure and farming can open up the place. KDF work is commendable, he writes in all caps. Katebe's K states there is a glimmer of hope in the Kerio belt. After years of instability, the efforts that have been given a focus tonight should be increased to ensure continuity of peace and development. This, he says too, is commendable. And here we have James Thirikwa, who says Taste of Peace by Gatete Njoroge was insightful to many Kenyans who take peace for granted. Let's live, love and support one another, for that's the greatest commandment from God. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. This is Engineer Lazaro, who will wrap it up for us tonight. Kudos to all the groups working tirelessly in Elgeyo Marakwet to restore the nature by conserving the forest. They should be rewarded and celebrated. And we celebrate you, Gatete Njoroge and Brenda Wanga, tonight. That's it for myself and Njoki Shege. We bid you a good night and a good week ahead.